Oh, hey there, Origami unfolders. Today we're gonna have a Paper Mario Origami Cages review. But first, let's talk about this thing beside me is my rating system, and it is that I take 5 categories depending on the subject in hand, and then rate every one of them out of 10, then combine them together to get something out of 50. After all that shit before the review, I'm not much of a turn-based RPG fan myself, probably because I didn't play most of the good ones, like Final Fantasy or Persona. The longer the game, the more scary it becomes for me. But I played and loved 3 of them, probably because I didn't know any better. Them being FNAF World, Pokemon Sword, and should I even say this one? People are gonna click away. Whatever. Paper Mario Sticker Star. But after I played Origami King, I realized it was just kinda mediocre. I mean, trash. Anyway, let's begin the review with what you do for most of the time, the Overworld. And in my opinion, the best part in the game too. And it has a lot, and I mean a lot of things to do in it, like the completion process. And you have a checklist for every area, so every world, which is really helpful. And you have in that front things that complement each other very well, like the question mark block giving you coins, rarely collectible figures and confetti, and the coins you use in battles to get most of the confetti to fix these bottomless pits, so you can progress and find more secrets and more hidden blocks, and rescue all the toads by hitting them with a hammer, but first finding them in different creative ways, like on a tree, a picture of a mushroom chasing this mantis, and re-hitting the same hole multiple times to reveal multiple toads. And you can find treasure chests mostly contain the main collectible, the collectible figurines, and you can get them by doing another fun thing, being the mini games, and they do not feel tacked on, because you only have to do the bare minimum of them to progress, and they're all score based ones, and for things that most people will skip, they're designed pretty well, and they're really addictive. My favorites being this ninja minigame and this fishing minigame. And in the overworld, your gameplay changes in really fun ways, like riding some cool vehicles like these fast shoes in the desert, just hitting every box and enemy, and it's very satisfying. Or being in this boat and exploring the ever so expanding sea and trying to find all islands and secrets. Or in normal on-foot gameplay, the objective is mostly to solve puzzles, have a bit of platforming until an end of an area, but it changes in also fun ways, like having to go back in this pyramid with quick shortcuts to find all the zombie toads and make them follow you, or having to explore this whole theme park to get past this chain shop by knowing what it wants and helping multiple characters to get it. But my big problem with the overworld gameplay is that some of the completion stuff I told you about, like the chests or the toads, use the classic pairing move of having you to complete X later area so you can get X collectible from different earlier area, and it's just padding for the sake of it, and some of them are really annoying. For example, here you could open both umbrellas and make this wall into a platform so you can platform on them and get to the door, and oops, you didn't save Toad from X later area, so you can't get the collectible inside even though you just solved its puzzle. Anyway, because the overworld is fun and creative, and it's the best part of the game in every way except padding problem, this gets a 9 out of 10. But something I love having is company and characters that go along with you, also known as... Tell me he's not still there. Oh, hey there, I don't want to be annoying and stuff. I don't want to judge you by your book. And you're just a thing like me. And my second point is the partners. A returning feature from the 1000-Year Door, a game that I haven't played, but the partners in this game have well-deserved praises and also well-deserved complaints. Like how there's a small number of them that I could count them in less than one hand, while the 1000-Year Door they had 8 of them. But maybe with less partners that means more story and gameplay benefit you will be in that front, because there's a character that has a generic story but no to negative gameplay bonuses, being Bomb. And the first red flag is that his name and design is generic with no cool or unique things to it. But what about his story, you may ask? And like I said, it's a generic, he has amnesia story with some positives, like the way he gets amnesia. It's kinda cool, and him having this chill and lovable personality that I love. But you'll never see it because this freaking frick is lost like every 2 seconds. Heck, twice in these bushes, and it feels like padding an easy plot convenience. Like, how to make the player go down this bridge? Any cool set pieces or nope, bombs on the rescue to fall down from a normal enemy. And by the time, spoiler alert for the most obvious twist, guess what will happen to the bomb so the game can get rid of him? Too late, he explodes. And I love that they're acting like this is a sad moment. Like they want you to use all your sad emojis and crying guys and crying sound effects from your library or something like that. But to be honest, I was relieved and prayed and thank God I don't have to play hide and seek every time I sneeze. But the partner after him is actually good. You save him from a boss, then he goes with you, and his whole goal is to find this cool pirate dude. And in story, he has a fun and positive personality, just like most other toads. But he's a bit smarter in dialogue, I guess. But the cool thing is, some of them have different designs. Like, you see, an adventure. But I will continue about that in a different segment. And in gameplay, he's really fun, because he gives you the ability to read these Asian texts you couldn't read the first time around, and in them there's either backstory to the Asians or riddles to solve to get these windows to can progress. And these lights on the ground can be collected with his dig move, and they have from coins to collectibles and puzzles. And he doesn't stay with you for too long or too short of a time, and more importantly, he isn't used to pad out the game, and the others have the same problem. And in battles, if you don't clear all the enemies in your turn, the partners will clear some, or at least one of them for you. Or at least that's the idea. 90% of the time they trip and do nothing. Maybe that's my bad luck. And in most dungeons, they just stay outside, which arguably the dungeons are the places with the most battles and boss battles. Anyway, because the partners have meh to non-existing story, and in gameplay it's from really good to just bad, and they already have a small number of them, they get a 4 out of 10. But the thing that is half of the fun of this game is, they told me not to give this to you. It's called like a pencil sharpener or something. I'll just give it to you, and hopefully you'll let me go to the other side. I really wanna go, please. I'll just, go out of screen so you don't try to hit me again. I'll come back later, bye. And my third point is the battles. And unlike Paper Mario Sticker Star, in that game every move, even the simple jumps, were stickers that can only be used once. And they don't have any fun strategies and options, so they feel repetitive, and when you do them, you don't get anything of importance like XP and the stuff like it. And the things you actually get are more stickers, so you can have more repetitive battles, and coins that you can only use to buy more stickers, so you can have more repetitive battles. And by the third world, I tried my best not to even have any battles, which if I do that on purpose, you know I did something wrong as a game developer. But here, it's much better. In every way, better rewards and better, less repetitive strategies. Like the best addition being the rings mechanic. And they're like fun little puzzles. And I'm a sucker for puzzles. And what you do in them is that you rotate the rings and move them forward and backwards with a limited number of moves, so you can just as much as you want. You have to think about every move, so you can make the enemies in a certain position, being this line and this block positions, so you can hit most of them at once. And if you successfully make them all in these positions, you get an attack bonus, incentivizing you. But you also have to think about which enemies are in which position, because some of them, like the ninja, so you can just jump on, or the fire bros, you can just use your fire flower on, and vice versa for other moves and enemies. And if you have any troubles with the rings, which I can't blame you, because the more the game progresses, the harder it becomes, especially in the late game. You can do two things to help you. Being first, use the coins to extend the time limit, so you can think as much as you need, and you can use it as many times as you want. And if it's really hard and you can't solve it, you can use the second option of giving the toads cheering in the background a bribe. A bunch of cheapskates. Using at least 100 coins, and they will do the first move for you. With the more you give them, the more they do, like slightly damaging the enemies or healing you, etc. And you can use use it only once per turn, so you can really rely on it and have to continue the rings yourself. And then when you're done with the rings, you can finally go to the battle menus and use the strategically right options, and then time your button presses just right, and the better on point the button presses, the more damage you do. And if you have any trouble with any of the moves, like I did, there's this training area in Toad Town that has training for every basic moves, but it doesn't have training for non-basic moves, which is annoying, but it's not their biggest concern. I'll get to that later. But when you do them perfectly, it's really fun and satisfying. And the better you do in battle, like not taking that much time in the rings, finishing the battle first round, etc., you get bonus rewards, which incentivizes you to be better at the battles. Anyway, because the rings and strategy battle gameplay are really fun and makes me want to battle every enemy I see, and it helps me as a player if I have any problems with extending my time and giving me incentives to be better in the battle themselves. This gets a 10 out of 10. But what are the biggest incentives for battling, and what are the positives and negatives of how they implemented the battle move in the same segment, so just deal with it. And you became sharper. What did I expect? Wait a minute. Why did the pencil sharpener become a non-transparent PNG? What a weird thing. Anyway, I feel like now you're gonna let me go through, right? Thanks, but... And your biggest incentive for finishing the battles is what you get rewarded for. Because you get rewarded with most of your confetti that, like I said, you use on bottomless pits. And coins that you use for lots of things. Like story-wise, as examples, you get the stone from bargain binning with the small, or getting some minions out of debt in a later area, and etc. And gameplay-wise, you use it to buy helpful overworld items from different shops, like these bells that let you know a certain collectible is close, or an item that gives you classic NES Donkey Kong sound effects, or the stupid watch that tells you you're getting something quote-unquote special for walking 10,000 steps. So I naturally thought it will, like it said, give me something special, or at least a collectible figurine. And for half an hour, I walked back and forth just to get 10,000 coins. And you can only get this item late game, when you have more coins than you have storage to use them on. You know, me complaining about something that could have easily been prevented by a simple Google search later. There's items that really help you in battles, like giving you more time at the start, or increasing your HP, etc. And you can also find and or buy the basic and non-basic moves from the shop, which the basic moves only being the jump and all its variants, and the hammer and all its variants. And I love how they implemented them by only having OG variations of them that can never be removed or break, but are really weak, and also have 3 extra slots for the stronger, more usable versions of them, but they can be break with band-aids that show that they're close to breaking. For the menu screen outside of battles, for non-equipped items, you can probably not run out of them. But my real problem is with the non-basic moves, and it's that they can only be used once per item found and or bought, and for some of them it makes sense, like the mushrooms that heal your HP, or the OP and broken only a 3 on storage restriction for a reason power block that literally kills every enemy on screen. But for most of them, it doesn't make any sense, like the flowers or the tail. Like, why can't I just use and have fun with them in multiple battles before they break or something like that? Especially that compared to some hammers and shoes, they're not even close to being OP or battle breaking. It's just a really annoying restriction that makes me not want to use any of the limited number of them, which makes me not want to buy them at all, which gives me an even more limited number of them, rinse and repeat for most of the non-basic moves. Anyway, the rewards for battling are really fun and helpful, story and gameplay wise, and the basic moves are implemented, in my opinion, very well, unlike Sticker Star, but the non-basic moves are implemented horribly for most of them, just like Sticker Star. So, because the rewards get a 5 out of 5 and the moves a 2 out of 5, this gets a 7 out of 10. But something that's really special and unique to this game is, and my final point is, the art style / story. You can find the whole unique thing. It's just the art style, and I'll get to it later. But anyway, let's start with the story. And the story in this game isn't something to write home about, and it's not the level of normal Mario games' non-existing story. It's what's probably expected from a Mario RPG. A predictable, but still kind of fun story. And in it, there's a lot that I love about it. Like in the main story, the main character, Olivia, so we're not talking about Mario, I guess, has an outgoing, cowardly, and lovable personality. And she has some easy-to-solve mysteries in her character, like where she came from and why, etc. And as you might have thought, she's a tutorial / helping character. And I like that if you're lost, she gives you helpful hints in an in-character way, instead of sounding like a robot and having unhelpful hints. Probably didn't help that in Sticker Star, they had that to tell you to backtrack to a specific stage in a specific secret place without actually telling you. But just like in that game, they have annoying tutorials. Heck, it's more annoying in this game with more mechanics, and you can't skip them. At least they get to the point quickly. And the main villain, King Ollie, which is so forgettable, I had to Google his name. And his motivation is so obvious that you can figure it out by looking at the first cutscene. And no, it doesn't evolve that much. Maybe I didn't, but not by much. And I love secondary characters, aka partners. I already talked about them. I'm a boy Luigi, who keeps trying to find the key to Peach's castle, and every single time it's for something else. For Luigi, can't take a break. Just like I can't with you not liking and subscribing. How dare you? Do that already, or else I'll send Luigi to do it before you regret it. Anyway, and the one-note characters are upbeat and funny, just like Sticker Star. But the thing that makes them so much better than in that game, being a good segue for Artstyle, is that instead of like 3 to 4 colors of Toad with the same design being the one-note secondary and main characters, they still have them here as some of the one-note characters, but now they have different designs and different enemies that fit the landscape, like Monty Moles in caves or snippets in their own town. Gives the game a lot more personality and the world a lot more life to it. I just wish that you rescue a lot more than just normal Toad, but that's alright. The real problem is that every character has the same model with no changes. I'm not just talking about the Toads that you rescue and the outside characters. It's ridiculous to ask for all types of characters to have their own look, even though Nintendo's the richest company in Japan, but that's beside the point. No, I'm also talking about the trainers, the shop owners, etc. also have the same generic look in some worlds, of course, because others, like the park, have cool, unique designed characters. So it's kind of 50-50 problem in this game. And the art style as a whole, I love it, because you would think that mixing up cardboard, metal, paper environments, paper characters, and origami enemies all together at once would look disturbing and weird and out of place. But no, it gives the game a unique look, and it's really pleasing on the eye. But my only gripe with it is all of Ollie's bosses are just realistic objects that were amusing the first boss I saw in Sticker Star, but after that they kept doing it over and over again in that game and in this game. And it's just kind of stupid and annoying by this point, and they're the only thing out of place looking in this game. But at least they did something kinda cool with some of them, and stages building up to them, like the pencil drawing on the walls realistic art, and this thing literally cutting off every Toad's head. But still, who in their right mind would put a realistic pencil with a cartoon? Huh? Oh my god, why did you cut me? Okay, this is okay. Do you know what? This is my last try. You broke the camel's back, but okay. Okay, this is it. You're gonna be bye-bye. Huh? What? Ouch. Hey, you break my lower half. Thanks. Okay, now how do we go up the tower? Wait, what? We have a green screen now? I didn't even know. We can now use all the green screen power. Activate. Wait, is that a real hand? Whatever. So, with a 9 out of 10 for the Overworld, a 5 out of 10 for the partners, a 10 out of 10 for the battles, a 7 out of 10 for the awards, and a 7 out of 10 for the art style, this game gets a... Huh? Why can't I move? Use the green screen cage. What am I gonna do now? It's 38, by the way. Let's talk about my thoughts, I guess. And my final thoughts are that I like this game. What a thought. It takes me more than a month to finish one of these videos. Why would I work on something I actively hate? And I think there's a lot of enjoyment to get out of it. But for every fun rings mechanic, there's the limited use for non-basic moves. For every fun overworld exploration and collecting, there's backtracking for some collectibles and other problems I already told you about in the video. So, if you're buying this game for the story and dark atmosphere, don't, because the trailer is a lie. The edgy stuff is just at the start and a bit at the end. But if you're buying this game for a fun, relaxing and casual RPG, this is, in my opinion, one heck of an option to choose. So I guess, oh, it's just a PNG of a scary game. What a funny coincidence. Anyway, I guess I'll say bye or something. That's a different PNG. Okay, how did I get scared by that? Shh, 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 shh.